So in the wake of the match between Manchester City and Arsenal yesterday in the Premier League, a question has been going through my mind. Well, many questions to be honest with you. There were a lot of talking points in that game, but one of the biggest questions I've been having is around, Leandro Trossard's sending off. Which, if you didn't know, if you didn't watch the game, he got basically sent off for a second yellow card for kicking the ball away, for absolutely hoofing it into the stands as hard as he could when the game had already stopped. And this is the thing. This law has changed recently. I mean, it's always been an offence to kick the ball out of play, to kick the ball away, trying to delay the restart of the match, basically. That has always been a thing, but this season the referees seem to really clamping down on it. Apparently, the PGMOL, or whatever they're called, the body that the Premier League referees, kind of work from, they all sat down with the clubs and explained, look, we're clamping down on this season. You're going to have to follow these rules. If you don't, it's going to be a yellow card. We're not messing around anymore. This isn't one of them laws that we don't really follow properly. I mean, it obviously didn't say this because, the referees, they're always right. But, I imagine they make really good school teachers, really unpopular school teachers, the ones that head teachers absolutely love, but the students absolutely hate. That's my kind of impression of referees. I might be wrong with that. I don't know. I know a few people who are referees and they're all right, but I think at this top level, you've got to be a bit of a appendage, let's just say. I'm not going to say the word, but you kind of get where I'm coming from. So when it comes to this law, it's obviously being followed, and I have no problem in the sense that, this is a law, people are following it, people are aware of it now, because not only has one Arsenal player been sent off, but now the second time it's happened as well with Trossard. And I don't really have a huge problem with Trossard's by itself, to be honest. I mean, Rice's was more complicated. I've already done an in-depth video going over that. There was a lot more to it than that. It wasn't just as simple as him kicking the ball away. There was more going on there. There was some gamesmanship, some housery going on. This was all on Trossard. He fouled him, I think it was Bernardo Silva, just a bit of a shoulder and elbow in the back. Referee stopped the play, gave a free kick to Manchester City, and then Trossard absolutely whacked the ball as hard as he could into whatever direction was as far away from where he was as possible. Now, Calafiori, one of the players for Arsenal, who scored an absolute worldie against Man City. Again, if you want to hear more about this match, go check out my 5 things review. I've also covered it in my 5 things for the Premier League weekend results as well, but I've covered it in depth in its own video, and even that wasn't long enough to, 5 minutes was not long enough to cover that. It was an incredible game. It's so eventful. But Calafiori said that Trossard didn't hear the whistle. Now, I don't know how true that is, and then some people might say, oh, that's a load of rubbish. There's no way he's not heard that. He's not that far away from the referee. Referees' whistles are very loud. There is no way he couldn't have heard it. And I agree, but I also disagree. And I say this because physically, yes, he would have heard the referee's whistle. There's no way. But when you're in a match, when you're competing like that, like, for example, I'm just going to equate it to something I've experienced personally. When you are in the gym, you're working out, you're absolutely in the zone, you're going for your personal best, you're going for how many reps at this weight on this many sets or whatever, and your focus is just to push that weight as far away from you as possibly can and then bring it back. When your one focus is on that one thing, you don't really pay attention to stuff around you. Like, I've listened to podcasts while I've been working out, and I cannot tell you what the podcast was discussing most of the time. Same with audiobooks or whatever, So imagine that scaled up to the pressure in the environment where there's 60,000 people watching you in the stadium and millions, if not billions of people around the world watching that game, I can totally understand why he should have heard it, but I can also totally get why he didn't register it as well, because hearing something and clocking onto it and actually figuring out, oh, this is what's going on here, 2 separate things. And it's also a bit of a knee-jerk reaction as well, because he is just absolutely booting it as far as he can. His one focus is on that. So I do feel for Trossard with that. But I also think in the laws of the game, it has to be sending off, which it really doesn't. It sucks. And I think this law should be looked at. I think we might have made a mistake here with this. I really do. I feel actually Declan Rice is because, I can't remember his name now. Was it Veltman? I think it was Veltman. It was one of the Brighton players anyway. In the sending off against Declan Rice, they tried doing the same thing again against Forest the other day. This is a clear tactic that he's trying to do. I don't know if it's just him that's doing it, but it's working. This is the thing. It's working. It's getting players yellow carded. It's getting free kicks. when there shouldn't be free kicks. It is working, and I don't think that should be allowed. They're just exploiting the rules to the fullest amount they can. They've bent the rules as far as they can. That's what these guys do. That's what top level athletes do. Like it or loathe it, that is the reality of it. A lot of them do this, but I don't think they should have a chance. I don't think they should have a chance to do it. I feel like there needs to be something there. But then again, you have to punish this because it is time wasting. It is time wasting. But in both instances, it's, well, at least with Declan Rice's anyway, it's like, why would you be time wasting? I know Arsenal were ahead at that time, but it was early in the second half, wasn't it? It was pretty early on in the game still. It was a long way to go. I don't think Arsenal would have been time wasting there. Against Manchester City, you could argue they'd be time wasting, especially going for half time because they were ahead. There is that too. There's no one size fits solution for this. I mean, if you don't punish it, then players are just going to take it to the nth degree and take the mick. But they were doing that as soon as last season, as recently as last season. So were we complaining about it that much then? Were we complaining about it as much as people are complaining about it now? I don't think so. I don't think we were. I mean, yeah, maybe in the stadium, I've been there. I've been, abusing players on the pitch by shouting all sorts of things and call them dirty cheats and time wasters and all sorts of stuff like that. But I'm a fan. I've probably had a few beers at that point. We're talking about something that's a professional sport here at the end of the day, and we are really wanting to see players get sent off for second yellow cards for booting the ball away. No, I'll be honest, I don't want to see it. I don't. But then again, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? Do you punish them for it? Do you just let it go? It's a really hard balancing act. I don't know. I don't know what the solution to this problem is. I just wanted to get my thoughts out in this video, really, guys. I mean, I'm all ears. I want to hear what you guys think. Is the rule as it is now correct? Keep it as it is? Does it need to change? Does it need to go back to what it was before? Do the referees just need to be a bit more lax with it? I don't know. But what I will say is, and I said this during my 5 Things review of, the Man City against Arsenal game. And by the way, guys, I'm a complete neutral in this. I am not a fan of any Premier League club. My football team is outside the Premier League. So I don't have skin in the game. I'm a neutral. I just want to see good football. I want to see entertaining football. And I said this at the time. I said with Trossard that it was dumb. It was dumb. And it's even dumber because the exact same thing happened to Declan Rice. Well, not the exact same thing. It was a bit different with Rice. But he got a second yellow card for booting the ball away, for hitting the ball away. Trossard did the same thing. There is no way in a million years, and I've seen the documentary with, the Win It All one, whatever it's called, the one on Amazon, where it's just basically a fly-on-the-wall documentary following Arsenal. Excellent, by the way. The Tottenham one's great, the Man City one's great. Fantastic series they do on Amazon with those. But the Arsenal one, there's no way, having seen what Arteta does, there's no way that he's just let this go and let this slide. There's no chance. No chance. He will have drilled that into the players, like, don't do this, you might get sent off, it's stupid. Every foul counts, every yellow card counts, especially against your main title rivals Manchester City. Simple as that. But he didn't follow the instructions. I do admit it's probably a knee-jerk reaction, but still. Face the consequences. But should the law change? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I've rambled on for way too long here, but I hope you enjoyed listening to this, my kind of thoughts on it. I don't have a solution. I don't. I do prefer how it was before, though, I will say that, but I want to hear your thoughts too. And of course, like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell as well to see much more football content here on thefootballchronicle.com.